Before we start this Talking Mac episode, I have to say, I just went to a couple of Saturdays ago. Actually, it was last Saturday. A couple of Saturdays ago, I went to the Apple Store opening in Mall of Georgia. Fantastic. Got one of those cool T-shirts. Mall of Georgia here in Atlanta. It was amazing. All right, now let's get back to the Talking Mac podcast opening, so you can know what's coming up today. Coming up on the 6th episode of the Talking Mac podcast, we're going to talk about the iPhone update, what new features it brought, and the wishes that I proclaimed in iPhone 2.0 have come true. That was the first episode of the Talking Mac podcast. Stay tuned, you will not want to miss it. And we have Apple Updates, a new segment that fills you in on the latest Apple news. Stay tuned. Hello and welcome to the Talking Mac podcast. Welcome back. Today we are diving into the world of iPhone for the third time. Now you may ask, well, what does iPhone have to do with Mac? iPhone's a cell phone. It's an iPod. iPods aren't Mac. Well, the iPhone and the iPod Touch runs a mobile version of the Mac OS X operating system, which makes it a Mac device. So that means that it is destined to be on the Talking Mac podcast. Alright, but first, before we dive into this, let's catch up with the latest Apple news with the Apple Update. We'll be right back.
Hello, welcome to the Apple Update. Last week in Apple News, Apple released an update on their iWork 08 suite. Also, their iLife 08 suite have seen an update to fix bugs and compatibility issues. Apple released their iPhone update 1.1.1 to include the iTunes Wi-Fi music store, support for TV out, preference to turn off the Edge/GPRS when roaming internationally, and also a few other features. Along with the iPod Touch, iTunes have seen 2 updates last week. Mac OS X Leopard have seen 2 builds for the developers as well. Keeping you up to date, this has been the Apple Update.
Welcome back. Thank you for that Apple update. Hope you enjoyed it. Let's talk about this. Apple drops the iPhone update 1.1.1 and once unlocked iPhones may not work. May turn your iPhone into a brick. Now you heard some of the 2 or 3 of the features in the Apple update, but let's talk about this now. Apple released their first substantial update to the iPhone software Thursday and warned customers who have modified their iPhone software may find the update results in the iPhone becoming permanently inoperable, which means it won't work. It'll be a shiny device that won't work. Third-party phones with third-party apps, thousands of them, who have downloaded this update are bricks. They're bricks. They don't work anymore. They're just hefty little bricks that don't work. Now, last week, Apple made a statement that says it will be on the fast move, and this is a summary, to stop the unlocking of the iPhone. And then Phil Schiller, a VP at Apple, comes up in a public statement and says, well, we're not specifically targeting the unlocked iPhones. We're just saying that, oh, well, one of the updates might cause your iPhone not to work forever. You're purposely doing it. Now, thousands of iPhones are bricked permanently in there. They're permanently inoperable. So, I suggest if you have AppTap, third-party apps, uninstall it and restore the iPhone, which means your music will be gone, your videos will be gone, your contacts will be gone, your calendar will be gone. You have to sync it back up to the computer and get all that stuff back on there. Now, if you do install this update 1.1.1, you will get the iTunes Wi-Fi music store loudspeakerphone and receiver volume louder, the home button double-click shortcut to phone favorites or music controls, spacebar double-tap shortcut to intelligently discern period and space mail attachments are viewable in portrait and landscape mode. Stocks and cities in stocks and weather can be reordered. The Apple Bluetooth headset battery status in the status bar. Support for TV out. Preference to turn off Edge/GPRS when roaming internationally. New passcode lock time intervals and the adjustable alert volume. I'm going to give you a quick break. Just listen to this tune and we will be right back right here to the Talking Mac podcast so you can digest all of this tech. Welcome back to the Talking Mac podcast. I hope you digested all those features in the iPhone update. Let's talk about iPhone 2.0. Hopes come true. The first episode and the most popular by far of the Talking Mac podcast was iPhone 2.0. I named my device hoping for the second generation of iPhones to emerge. I listed some stuff that would make the iPhone globally adapted. I said global adaptation. Go back and listen to that. This was about a month and a half before the iPhone update came out. Some of the stuff has not come out. Some has. Now, when I was in the iPhone 2.0, when I thought about it, wrote down my notes, and I was thinking the second generation iPhone. Not thinking that one day, about a month and a little over a month later, an update will come and fix some of that without having to wait for a second generation. Here is what happened. I was saying, oh, it'd be wonderful to download music on the go from iTunes. Sounds like the iTunes Wi-Fi music store. Sounds familiar. And I said, well, the iPhone to accept global adaptation would have to be substantially lowered in price. $200, folks. $200 for the 8 gigabyte. Well, that's how much they lowered it at $399 instead of $599. They lowered it $200. Answers to prayers. So those are some of my iPhone 2.0 hopes come true in this iPhone-centric episode of the Talking Mac podcast. Email us your Macintosh questions. technifymedia@yahoo.com. technifymedia@yahoo.com. And don't forget to check out another podcast that Technify Media is producing called the Techno Podcast. youtube.com/Techno Podcast. TECHNOWPODCAST. youtube.com/Techno Podcast. It'll be premiering today on Monday, October the 1st, 2007. And October is the month of the leopard. Get ready. Can't wait. We'll see you next time. Goodbye right here on the Talking Mac podcast.